The Denver Nuggets are one of the best teams in the NBA right now, and they're at the top of the Western Conference, making them a legit threat. They're third in the NBA in win percentage, 7th in points per game, 1st in field goal percentage, 1st in three-point percentage, 2nd in assists, 10th in steals, and 14th in defensive rating. So they are all around on a tear right now. And the Phoenix Suns, who now have KD, are currently 8.5 games back of Denver for first place in the West as they occupy the 5th spot. Right now, the Denver Nuggets and Suns would be on a collision course to meet in the second round. But with a little over 20 games left in the season, there's still a lot of things to sort out. No matter what team you look at, whether it's Golden State, the Suns, either Los Angeles team, Dallas with the addition of Kyrie, or even a team like the Memphis Grizzlies, no matchup feels like a bad one for the Nuggets. And of course, it all starts with one man up front. Nikola Jokic. The reigning two-time MVP may be on his way to winning his third trophy. Over his last 7 games, he's averaging 22 points, 14.8 rebounds, 12.6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block while shooting 65% from the field, 40% from 3, and 79% from the free throw line. Just absolutely insane numbers, and those are obviously contributing to the win column. That right there further pushes his MVP case. The 7-foot Serbian monster is also first in triple doubles and second in double doubles. He's 13th in the NBA in points within 5 feet from the rim, and he's 7th in the NBA in shots within 5 to 9 feet from the basket. And to prove his inside dominance even more, he's first in the NBA in points off of post-ups. He's just insanely skilled down low, and one of his go-to moves is his hook shot. And while it isn't Kareem-like, it's still incredible to see how great of touch he has. He can throw it over both shoulders and make it efficiently, and he's so unorthodox and fast that it makes it almost impossible to block it, because defenders heavily rely on timing and anticipation, so when a defender's timing is thrown off, it's gonna be extremely difficult to contain an offensive player, and that's what Jokic does at an elite level. Similar to Luka Doncic, he can't be sped up at all. He plays at his pace no matter who's guarding him. Another way he imposes his will is simply by using his large 280-pound frame to bulldoze his way to the basket. He is very strong and knows how to push his weight around, and no defender in the NBA can contain him one-on-one in the post consistently. We don't care who you are, Anthony Davis, Jaren Jackson Jr., Draymond Green, Rudy Gobert, you always need help when defending the Joker. Then, of course, you have his sweet footwork. It's some of the best we've ever seen from a center. He's absolutely elite at up and unders and drop steps, and due to how well he changes his rhythm and uses them with patience, those are 2 of his most unstoppable moves down low. And if you foul him, you're basically just giving up 2 free points almost every time. He's shooting 82% from the free throw line on 6.2 attempts per game. He's just a handful in the post, and sometimes fouling him can be a defender's best option, and sometimes their only option. When it comes to rebounds, Jokic is 8th in the NBA while also being 3rd in defensive rebounds. So he's an elite scorer and an elite rebounder. But of course, it does not stop there, because the Joker is without a doubt the best passing big man we have ever seen. Like we mentioned earlier, he's averaging a ridiculous 12.6 assists per game over his last stretch of games. And he's averaging 10 assists per game on the season. He can pass from any angle and he sees everything, and being 7 foot tall helps him see over defenders at all times. He can make any pass in the book and make it look effortless. But now on to about the only thing that he isn't absolutely amazing at is his defense. And honestly, he's just an average defender. We still understand where people get the notion that he's some terrible defender. If you want to see a terrible defensive center, just watch Thomas Bryant play defense. And in fact, now that he plays in Denver, we can all be the judge on his defense compared to Jokic. And of course, we're not saying Jokic is a defensive player of the year candidate or anything like that, but he does have great hands and instincts on the defensive end. And that's one of the reasons he leads all centers in steals per game. Now let's talk about his co-star Jamal Murray, who's been putting up really great numbers, and we think it's safe to say he is 100% back. He's averaging 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 5.8 assists while shooting 46% from the field, 83% from the free throw line, and 39% from 3 on 6 attempts per game. He has been a really efficient scorer. Among the 47 players to log at least 100 pull-up jumpers since December 23rd, Jamal Murray's effective field goal percentage of 53.7 ranks 8th. When he has it going, he can score on anybody in the league. He's so shifty, and he has very impressive balance, which allows him to stop on a dime at any time. He's 13th in the NBA when it comes to shots within 15 to 19 feet, shooting 46% on a little over 2 attempts per game. He's a natural scorer who has very good handles, which he uses well to break down defenders before getting into his shot. He's also a really good driver and finisher. He's shooting 48% on drives, which leads his team by a mile. He's a true scorer on all 3 levels, and that's why he's averaging 30 points per game over his last 7 games, including a 41-point game versus the Atlanta Hawks on February 4th, and he did it on amazing efficiency, shooting 15 for 24 from the field and 7 for 12 from 3. This is absolute ecstasy what he brings to the table. He's a tough shot maker who can literally do everything on the offensive end, and his ability to play off the ball makes him awesome with Nikola Jokic, almost a match made in heaven, honestly. And his improvement as a playmaker is huge too. He's averaging 4.8 assists over his last 2 active seasons, and he's averaging 6.8 over his last 7 games. So if he can continue playing like this, and Jokic continues to be historic, then they have the potential to do something big this year. Especially when your third option on the team is playing almost just as good as Jamal Murray. And of course, we're talking about Michael Porter Jr., who's averaging 16.8 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist while shooting 48% from the field, 79% from the line, and 40% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. And he's averaging nearly 21 points over his last 7 games. And remember, he's doing this alongside 1 superstar and 1 all-star caliber player, so we think it's safe to say the 24-year-old has finally arrived. His most impressive attribute is his elite shooting. He's already one of the best shooters in the NBA. He's 19th in catch and shoot threes, shooting 43% on 5 attempts per game. And just like Murray, Porter Jr.'s elite shooting makes Nikola Jokic's life a lot easier offensively. But he's not just a catch and shoot threat, he can create for himself as well. He likes to get into the mid-range and rise up over smaller defenders similar to Kevin Durant. And one of the most underrated parts of his game is his cutting ability. His ball movement has been pretty good this season, and he gained that skill simply by playing with an all-time great passer. He's learning that if he starts to move off ball and cut to the rim, Nikola Jokic will find him every time. And on the defensive end, while he's not great, he has had many great defensive possessions, and he's shown the ability to stay in front of players on the perimeter and use his length and height to be disruptive. And now for the next player who's also disruptive on the defensive end, Aaron Gordon, who's having one of the most underrated seasons in the league. Seriously, he's averaging 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists while shooting 39% from 3 and 58% from the field. And if he improved his free throw shooting, he could very easily average 20 points. And we mentioned Michael Porter Jr.'s ability to cut off the ball, so it's only right that we mention one of the best cutters in the NBA, Aaron Gordon. He's 7th in the NBA in points off of cuts. He's such an athletic freak of nature and dunker that when he cuts to the basket off the ball, it's never a great idea to contest, unless you want to be put on a poster, which he's done to many defenders this season. He's just such a great fit offensively. He hustles for rebounds, he cuts, he can shoot, and he's a decent passer. And on the defense, it gets even better. He's the most versatile defender on the Nuggets roster, and honestly, he might be the best overall defender on the roster. He's incredibly valuable to this team on both ends of the floor. We just hope he starts getting more recognition. Now let's mention the Nuggets' two-way snipers, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Bruce Brown. KCP is shooting 45% from deep, and Bruce Brown is shooting over 39%. And on defense, they're both good on-ball guard defenders who really specialize in making life difficult for offensive players. And then you have the rookie Christian Brown, who's just a winner. He was a big part of the Kansas Jayhawks championship run last year in college, and he's bringing that same energy to the pros. He hustles, he plays defense, and he's very disciplined on the court for someone just 21 years old. And we hope he steadily improves his offensive game because he could be really good down the line. And then you have Jeff Green and Ish Smith, who are very productive veterans who just know how to get things done when they get minutes, and they really balance out the roster. But what do you think? Should teams be worried about the Nuggets, or are they being overrated? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.